What's going on, everybody? It's Pelfrey, and this is super exciting. So a while back, Reef Aquatics reached out to me and asked if I wanted to give their sump and auto top-off container a try. And I'd looked at their sumps before, and if you're looking for a plug-and-play, a true plug-and-play sump for the Red Sea Reefer, this is the solution to you, for you. Now, I went ahead and unboxed the auto top-off, and I started to unbox the sump, but whenever I saw how it was boxed, I knew that I had to record that process. So the sump, or the auto top-off container, was boxed up perfectly, and you can see on the top here, I can stand it up. I got some tape here just to hold it there, and this is their G6, so this will hold 6 gallons. It is 4 gallons less than my current container, but I'm completely fine with it. So without further ado, let's get this camera on a tripod and get this sump pulled out. All right, let's get this sump out of here. So when you first open the box here, it's actually crated. It's in a cardboard box, but we have plywood here for protection. Love it. We have a lot of packing peanuts, so I'm going to try to not make a mess here. Let's get the trash can over here. Get some of this stuff out. I don't want to pick up a lot of this stuff if I don't have to. Well, let's just lift and see what happens here. Oh, perfect. Perfect. Give me a second to collect myself, and we'll get back into it. Real quick, looking at the box again, you can see, there is obviously plywood on the bottom here, plywood on the sides, and then we had the plywood on the top and a ton of packing peanuts. The trash man's gonna love dumping the trash can out. Sump, auto top off. Let's get the tape off of it, take a look at it. Again, this is a true plug and play system for the Red Sea Reefer, in my case, 250. Got all the tape and everything out of the sump and off of the sump and off of the auto top off. So we have the sump, the auto top off container. So front to back, we have like 16.5 inches on the sump, then 16.25. Skimmer section is roughly, we'll give it 8 3/4, and about 7 inches. So the return chamber, same thing, 7 inches. And obviously we do have this divider down here, so 5 inches there, which is pretty cool. This is a Triton style sump, so it doesn't have mechanical filtration. Now it does come with this piece right here, which fits down in this section here. And you can run mechanical filtration in there, no problem whatsoever. So going back to some measurements here, excuse the shaky phone. The refugium section, front to back's not going to be any different. So 16 and 3/8 ish. And then we got about just under 12 inches for the refugium section. The auto top off is, let's do a height measurement. So 16 inches for the height. Auto top off is 16 inches front to back, 6 inches wide, and then 16 inches tall. So this will actually give me about 7 inches in the cabinet, and obviously my tank's 3 foot long, so getting back almost a half a foot is going to be phenomenal. Another interesting thing is it comes with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Did I count that right? 3, 6, 7 of these tubes here, and they're already threaded, they're already fitted. So you just drop them in, screw them in, If I can get started with my left hand, I'm not very good with the left hand. And now we have auto top off, dosing lines, you name it, that can be used for whatever. This is obviously where the drains are gonna go. You're gonna have your primary drain, your secondary drain, it goes straight to the bottom. And the good thing is if a fish does go down the drain, number one, if it's small enough, it could come through this hole. And then number two, if you did get a fish stuck in the sump, you could raise the water level and the fish could swim out of here. So you don't have to worry about really anything getting stuck in there. But yeah, the refugium section is huge. Again, I'm losing about 4 gallons, or right at 4 gallons of auto top off water. This lid here is nicely built. I can fit my arm in here, and I do run float switches and optical switches in my auto top off for notifications. I should be able to drop the Tunze pump straight through this hole here. And what I'll probably do, unless anybody says that I shouldn't do that, is just run the Tunze pump straight to this port right here. I don't think I'll have to worry about auto siphon because it'll be above the water line. And again, if I want to run mechanical filtration, that's what can happen here. So refugium, skimmer section, NIOS 120, core 20 pump going here, and then any dosing lines that I have or need, I'll have plenty of outlets for those. It is engraved on the top with the Stealth. So this is for the Red Sea Reefer version 1 sump, and the version 2 actually has the returns going in over on this section here. I have the first version, so mine are going to go on the back wall there. This truly wouldn't be a full documentation on the new sump replacement if I didn't record the tank and the current situation. So this is the version 1 sump for the Red Sea Reefer 250. I do have the Blue Tide Acrylics 10-gallon auto top off, which I had custom made to fit in this spot exactly. Inside of it, I do have a float switch, the Tunze osmolator pump, and an optical switch that I'm gonna have to flip around for. The float switch and the optical switch are purely for notifications. I am also running the Blue Tide Acrylics Refugium baffle kit in what have the Refugium, yeah, we'll just kind of bypass that. NIOS 120 skimmer, a Siche 0.5 pump, I believe, down there. The Neptune Core 20, that float switch that you see right here is for the osmolator, and this one's for Neptune notifications. But yeah, I wanted to record this before I did the swap, that way we could see before and after. I'm gonna get the auto top off swapped out first and then move over to the sump area. So very excited. I'm gonna add a little bit of height, but as far as the physical, the length and the width of the new sump compared to the Red Sea sump should be pretty spot on. After a little bit of work, we got the 10-gallon auto top off out. Obviously the light in the cabinet there is dying. Had to pull some of the cables out, no big deal. Got the osmolator pump out. So you can see it's dirty. I'm gonna clean that up a little bit before I put the new ATO in there. Get the optical switch back in, dust it off a little bit. But let's go take a look at the two auto top off containers combined together. So obviously you can see we got quite a bit of difference here as far as size is concerned. The height, you know, we probably got 3 to 4 inches of height difference and quite a bit of depth. This one already has a new home, so I'm gonna get it boxed up, and this, the Tunze holder there is magnetic. So I'm gonna take that out and reuse that, but the float switch holder is stuck in there. So yes, this already has a new home. It's been great for me for over 2 years, really. But let's get this in the tank area and keep it moving. The tank is really blue at this point, but that's not the topic at hand. Let's take a look at the sump area. So I got the ATO containers swapped out. You can see I have a significant amount of space. Now, when I get the new sump in here, the auto top off container is going to be moved over, and I'll have this void over here to the right. But just to get it set up, I have this area empty, have the dough still sitting on top of the auto top-off container like I did with the previous auto top-off container. We have to figure out something to do with it, but you know, I'll take care of that at another day. I did get the Tunze osmolator pump in here with the magnetic bracket, and I have the optical sensor in here as well, and it's just at about a gallon and a half, maybe 3/4, something like that. So whenever that runs dry, I will actually get a notification via the Apex. So sorry about the shaky camera work, I lost my shoe there. Very, very excited. It took me about an hour to get this swapped out, and you can see the mess of wires behind there, and unfortunately I'm probably not going to be able to do much about the mess, but it kind of is what it is at that point. I need to get some soft tubing for the return pump, and then I can get the sump changed out. Now the sump is going to take a little bit more time to swap out, obviously because it holds equipment. There's multiple cables in here, and what I'll probably do is go ahead and give a vinegar bath to some of the equipment that's in the sump area. So let's pause and take a look at that. Trying to prepare myself the best for the move. I got the reactor pump out and the Nyos 120, and it grew algae from the Kessel light. So we got pretty much a gallon of vinegar in here, some hot water. Get these things plugged in here and mixing. This is CJ 0.5, I believe, in there with the Nyos skimmer. So we'll give it a good vinegar bath. You can see the nasty stuff coming out of it already. Get the reactor clean, get the skimmer cup clean, get all this stuff clean to get the new sump in. Swapping the sump out, I will need some water. So I've got about 9 gallons probably, and right now it says it's 49 degrees. I have a Finex titanium heater in here, CJ 1.5, circulating the water. I did end up dumping a little bit more water in here and 1 gallon of vinegar. So that should get everything pretty clean. I know somebody's going to say something about the mop and the Swiffer or whatever. I don't care. I've done this a million times. It's not why I can't keep SPS. I just can't keep SPS because I can't keep SPS. But anyway, I am going to need water. This will hopefully allow me to also do a water change. I put some of the hoses in here that were dirty, and the skimmer cup, which I already cleaned manually, but this hose was pretty dirty. So I'm going to let that run for a little while, a couple hours on Friday night. Take it out, clean it, do another bath. I do have some citric acid somewhere. I may use that and clean the skimmer with that. But let's go look at the sump. Got a bare bones sump. So skimmer's out, obviously, the refugium's out. Got some media here. Do have the air stone, the Core 20. I'll have to take out the, this is the sensors for the Tunze auto top off. Take out the media. I won't need this dosing rack anymore, whatever it's called, dosing line holder. The only part that really makes me nervous is the Red Sea plumbing, but it'll have to come out for the new sump. But I brought it down to bare bones for a reason. So this is what it looks like, and I'm gonna go skimmerless. Pretty much everything else. Oh, forgot, I do have Eheim heaters, 2 of them here. They've been here for like 2 years now. I may end up throwing them in the new sump just for the time being, but we'll kind of see. Sump's not too dirty. Obviously it is over here from the refugium light, but there's probably going to be bristleworms over here, so I'm going to have to wear gloves when I empty this out. I don't have a pH probe, but I do have a temp probe, but should be a lot of fun to swap out. Got the sump in. So it did take longer than I expected. Typically, that's just how things work. And as I suspected, I was nervous about touching the Red Sea plumbing. I had a leak on the emergency drain. I took it apart like 5 times and reseated the O-ring. So far, so good. I did extend the soft tubing to the core pump. So I had the emergency drain which was super easy to dial in with the valve here. The primary drain, I'm sorry, emergency drain, heater, temp control for the apex, a single heater in here now, all of the media that I had in the Red Sea sump, CJ 0.5 just circulating the water, Niles 120 that is clean, and the Neptune Core 20. It's going to be hard to see, so I did have to take the base plate and the inlet adapter off of the Core 20 to get it to fit inside the sump. But I took 9 gallons out after I shut the return pump off. I put that 9 gallons, well, probably 8 gallons back in, and another 8 gallons. So I did add some water volume to the tank itself. Let me catch my breath because it's been a long couple of hours. And shout out to Crystal Reef for responding to me on a Saturday with issues that I had on the Neptune Core 20. I got the Reefer sump outside, and you can see this thing is filthy, which after 2 years, it hasn't really been cleaned. I was right about bristleworms in the drain chamber. I'm actually going to run this heater because this heater was in the sump and it's got gunk inside of it. So the heater could have created some problems for me. It may have already, but I'm going to run this heater because it's bad already in here with vinegar and water. It's supposed to be like 20 degrees tonight. Let's see what happens. The sump's now been running for 24 hours, and for the sake of not making this a video any longer than it really needs to be, there are some things I'm going to touch on a follow-up video, but I'm thrilled with everything. Again, this is a true plug-and-play sump. And something that I did fail to mention earlier is that it does have an adjustable baffle for water height for the skimmer. So that is definitely something I'm going to touch on as far as what I think about the overall equipment. I do have some extra space here now and a wires mess back there, but you know, it's virtually impossible for me to keep up with all the wiring. I did try to take this board out, but I used a lot of double-sided tape, and I was just really nervous about putting a lot of pressure on the stand. So I just left it there. The one thing to note here is this sump does slide over a little bit. The Red Sea Reefer sump did butt up against this board here. As far as the length of it, front to back, it's the same size. It is taller, and I did add some water volume to the overall system. You can probably hear the water running. That's going to be kind of the elephant in the room, but I'm going to discuss that again in a follow-up video. And with the cabinet door shut, it's a faint, very faint sound. I am trying to get the skimmer dialed in. I do have the Neptune AFS here over the return chamber. I'm going to probably try it out down here. I need to get some water or some food in it. That's that. I mean, I love the setup, and again, shout out to Crystal Reef Aquatics for sending me the sump and the auto top-off container. I need to figure out what I'm going to do with the Neptune dose, but I'll get all that sorted out. I do plan on removing some of this media in time, but since it was already in the other sump, I just decided to throw it in here. That's about it. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, leave them down below. I will leave the dimensions of this sump versus the Red Sea Reefer sump in the description. Don't forget to check out the website at pelfrey.net. Check me out on Instagram at pelfreysreef, and I'll catch you all on the next one.